So much clarification. I just feel like that first half was just like holding a mirror up to like what life really is, and now here I am like, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do with that. But I should warn you, I'm bright a lot.
You ever seen a star wonder
If it should be bright or not?
Different, and nobody gets it. All of my friends love me, but I'm such a misfit.
And life goes,
you can miss it. Life goes on, don't blink too long, you can miss it. Life goes on, don't blink too long. Turn me up, turn me up, turn me up, turn me up.
turn me up, turn me up, turn me up, turn. Good morning, friend. Good morning. Actually, it's not even morning. Good afternoon, friend. Happy July. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Y'all, it's officially, what is today's date? It's Sunday, July 6th. So we are officially in quarter 3 of the year, and we're over halfway through 2025. Okay, there is so much to do. There's so much to do. There is still so much to do, but also a lot less. Yeah. So if you've seen my last couple vlogs, then you know that I recently went on a vacation, and outside of that though, I am currently getting my life back together. Like, I've reset, I've updated some things. In my last video, nothing. In this last week that I haven't vlogged, I've updated so much. I have changed my goals. I've had my annual review at work. I did my own reflections that we're going to get into in this video of my habit analysis, my goals, how far I've come this year and period, and just a lot of analytics both for my career, for my fitness, and for my personal self. I had to fill out my quarter reset booklet. I updated several pages in my Notion, and I have changed my content plan and updated quite a lot. I have a new clarified vision for this latter half of the year and myself moving forward, especially now that I'm about to go present myself as Dr. Jones for the very first time. Whoa, yeah. We're gonna go over all of this together today. My analytics, what I'm looking forward to, my new goals, my new mindset, my new priorities, like so much clarification. I just feel like that first half was just like holding a mirror up to like what life really is, and now here I am like, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do with that. So yeah, if you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. Quindle Jones, but you can call me Quinn. I'm a 28-year-old applied mathematician, and I currently work in medicine. I've used my systems theoretic and my applied math skills to transform my own personal lifestyle through losing 50 pounds, starting this YouTube channel, monetizing it, growing it, and completing my doctoral degree, becoming Dr. Jones, all through building sustainable habits, one at a time, through a data-driven approach. So on this channel, I talk all about how I am elevating and transforming throughout my life while staying authentic. So I talk a lot about systems, productivity, healthy habits, womanhood, general life lessons. So if that sounds like something you're looking for or into, then definitely subscribe to check out more. We're definitely going to get into all kinds of graphs and analytics and reflections today. That's really all this channel is. It's fun and it's reflection. Anyway, I am going to resume my morning routine. I'm at the final 2 steps. I'm about to do my Gua Sha Routine. It's one of my new non-negotiables. We'll talk about it. I have built up this habit since 2024, and for a while I was killing it, okay? Absolutely killing it. We'll talk about it now, but I have a renewed interest in getting good at it again. So and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing on the menu is my daily walk. and my goal is to get 10,000 steps a day. I've turned my 10,000 step challenge into a all year thing. So yeah, gotta get my walk, but let's do this. I'm gonna resume my music. Yeah.
Balance a poem. You might love me good, but not the way that I do. And play my favorite song. I never met a nigga that could touch me.
Good morning, Dr. Jones. Good morning, Dr. Jones. Higher possibilities are being sent to me right now. Blessings are flowing to me right now, and I allow myself to receive new abundance. When I prioritize my joy, success follows. When I prioritize my peace, abundance follows. My future is brighter and more magical than I could ever even imagine. And I imagine a lot. So I love how the universe takes care of everything for me. I love how my magic is currently unfolding. It's actually always been this easy. I love how my life is just always positively upshifting. And I am so thankful. I'm so thankful. Oh, I'm so thankful. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, me. I'm so thankful. So I'm about 2/3 through this book. I read it a long time ago, but I never finished the series, so I've been trying to like restart it so I can finish it. It's been a long time coming. I haven't actually read a whole lot, but it's still a good book. I'm enjoying it. I'm almost done with my walk. But before I go, I wanted to just talk about some of the new things I'm feeling right now, especially like, I feel like rain is so cleansing, it makes me think. I have a new mindset after all this analysis, and we're gonna talk about the behind it, later. But essentially, I've cleared a lot of stuff off my plate. I feel like I probably had 6 projects or something. Now I have 3. I was gonna start posting twice a week. Now we're doing 1. I was gonna expand to do a whole bunch of stuff. I really scaled down some of my goals so that I can focus in, niching on what I really want to get done. So my new priorities are really just locking in with myself as a doctor and as a fitness person, and building my brand as a social media person through my PhD and my fitness. So I'm gonna go through all the specifics and the analytics when I get in the house. Okay, so let's get into the mid-year review and analytics. I want to go through each level of my review because I have to do a monthly, quarterly, and a full 6-month review to get a clearer picture of my behavior the first half of the year. So I want to compare how I just did in June to how I did in May. Was there improvement in that level? And then I can compare quarter two, like how was quarter two, and then compare that to quarter one. And then I can look at all of that 6 months as a whole and see how did my behavior change. So I actually posted all of this in my most recent newsletter. So if you wanted to just read it, you can go read it, but I have it in front of me and we're going to go through it now. So you can see all of my initial 2025 goals in my New Year reset video that I posted, but I've kind of listed them down to 10 now. The first 3 are career goals, and then I have 2 that are related to my social media, so getting 50 people in my club, and then having paid memberships, and then I have extras such as paying off my credit card, growing on social media. And then in order to get those accomplished, I broke them down into what I wanted for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I believe I said quarter 1 was PhD, quarter 2 was fitness, quarter 3 is about traveling, quarter 4 is about, so that's how I broke it down. And so my most recent quarter goals are here. 3 of them have been moved to the current quarter, but I did complete my monthly step challenges. I got my passport. I started a review, but that's no longer a goal of mine. We'll talk about it. And then I did not meet my goal of starting to do paid things on Substack. I think I want to keep Substack as just a portfolio and have my paid offerings elsewhere. And so then for June, in order to accomplish those quarter goals, I had to like make them even smaller. And I did get 2 of those done, and then 3 I did not. I still have not finished this book. As I said, I'm about 1/3 of the way through. So, or 2/3 maybe? I can't totally tell. Maybe half. 60%. And I did miss a few videos from traveling in June. So the goals are not where they could be. So we're just gonna keep pushing forward. We have 6 more months to complete them, so it's not like life or death. Going to my habit analysis. So those are my goals as far as outcomes, but what was I doing to accomplish that kind of thing? Let's get into that. If we go down to my output here. So let's look at June's habit analysis. For getting my 10,000 steps a day, I got a 77% in June. So I missed about a week's worth, which makes sense. I was on a vacation for a week. Strength training, 19 out of 21. I only missed 2. Let's go. For getting 100 grams of protein every day, I missed 10 days. I'm pretty sure I didn't count any on my vacation as well. So 7 days, I'm giving myself that amount for any of these. So 7 hours sleep, I got 20 days. For 80 ounces of water, I needed 23, so missed 7. I did not read at all, even when I was gone. I even went shopping for books while I was gone, still did not read. But we're back reading now after realizing that we weren't reading. I wrote this some days ago, and since then, the book has been in my hand, okay? And then as far as my lymphatic drainage routine, I did that 15 out of 30 days. Giving my grade for June for adhering to my habits, a 61%. So 61% of the time I completed my habit goals each day. And let's see how that is to May. But just looking at those, that means my strongest habit is going to the gym. My okay habit is my water goal. I've gotten really consistent at filling this up every night. And then my worst goal is reading, which is why we're now making her non-negotiable. But was June better than May? No, they were equivalent. If I look at each habit, I can see how some went up and some went down, but overall, month to month, my behavior was about the same as before, which I'm proud of because it was an improvement from quarter 1. So either way, I've maintained some improvement. Cool. And then we have my quarter 2 habit analysis. So now we're looking at all 3 months, not just June. So April, May, and June together. So for quarter 2, I actually have here that instead of looking at those habit averages, I want to look at my weekly averages because I am measuring over time for the full quarters. So I'm going to go with how I did week to week instead of how I did by each habit. I'm more concerned with my overall because I'm not tracking all of my habits on my report card as well. So primarily the reading. If I count the reading, I'd never be doing better, but I'm doing better in everything else. So that's what we're going with. So looking at all of the grades that I posted on Q's Weekly Review for the first 6 months, I can see in quarter 1, that my average weekly score was a 67.3%. So that's where I kind of lived as my average in the first half, which was a D, right? Yeah, a D average for quarter 1 of 2025. And then for quarter 2, this line graph shows me that my average score was 72.3%, which means that was how much? Like a 6% increase on my adherence to my habits. So a C average. I brought up my average from quarter 1. We love improvement, right? And then if we then zoom out even further to look at the full 6 months, okay, I know I improved. I didn't really move much June to May, but April, May, and June was better than January, February, March. Overall, what did I do? Looking at the snapshot, so looking at averages gives you a snapshot. It's just a quick, like, oh, that's where you were generally about. But looking at trends is like, oh, this is how things change. So looking at my snapshot averages, my best average score was my strength training. My worst average score was for my water, sleeping, and my protein goal. And then I'm doing okay with my lymphatic drainage routine and my daily steps, because like the 10K step challenge has helped me and the morning routine has helped me. So yeah, the ones I need to work on the most are water, sleep, and protein. But that's just a snapshot of which ones to work on. How have I been doing with them? So this is telling me more about how my behavior has changed and less about like generally what I do. So for my protein goal, we can see my different averages meeting this goal week to week. And then the trend line is saying how I am trending with this habit, and it is increasing. So I have been slowly improving, getting more protein in the first 6 months. Looking at the water goal, this is also an increasing trend line. So I have been improving this throughout the months. There was a low maybe a week or two ago, but we've been good. And then we have the strength training goal. Look at this, it's kind of a straight line, which indicates that I've been like fairly consistent with this goal. My only question is, do you think that's kind of trending down? I feel like it is a little bit, but either way, it's more straight than down. So I'm going to say that's my most consistent one. That's how I'm interpreting it. Oh, look at that 10K step goal. Look at that clear increase improvement on meeting 10K steps, because there was a real low period there in quarter 1, but quarter 2 with this 10K steps, the 10K step challenge, game changer, game changer. 7 hours sleep week to week. Look at how I am improving. It's so crazy that those first months in the trenches. But we're in higher averages now, so I love that. My Gua Sha routine, and this is why I was saying this morning that I have to make sure that I'm getting her back consistent. She has been decreasing, trending down since the beginning of the year. I was on it like every day at first, and now it's like I keep missing days. So you know, I love that I can see things that I have observed in myself, but quantitatively through data. That's like my whole thing. Life as a data-driven experiment. I make my goals, I track how I'm doing on them, and then I analyze and I adjust accordingly to optimize meeting my goals. I just take a mathematical approach to changing my life and transforming my choices, and being very aware and intentional with everything that I'm doing. So it makes me feel good and powerful. I love it. What I think is interesting from this is comparing the trend lines to the snapshots. My worst average grades all have upward trend lines, which means I'm actually already trending those up. Like I was like, I need to work on those. I have been working on those. That's what the trend line shows. And then the ones that were mid, like my steps and my Gua Sha, my steps have already been improving, but my Gua Sha was decreasing. So now I'm paying extra attention to the Gua Sha. And then my best average was the most consistent trend line. That makes sense to me. Like, of course, I'm doing better than when I'm most consistent with at a consistent level of meeting it. So I love that I can just see this quantitatively. It makes me really excited. What I love most particularly about having this analysis is that it's what I'm using to adjust my routines going forward. So I also have a quarter reset booklet that I created and shared for free. It's in the link in this Substack, and it'll be in the description box or the pinned comment, where you can download a free PDF and write on it to figure out how you want to change your behavior for the coming quarter. I did it for quarter 2, and I'm going to do it now for quarter 3, but I'm informing that by what I've learned in this analysis and review of the first 6 months. So I need to fill in some gaps from quarter two, particularly with sleep and with reading. So that means I need to continue, tracking my sleep and getting stricter about my bedtime. So I have new routines to try and habits to try or stack at nighttime. And then I also need to find ways to read more. My current habit stacking, as you saw, is reading while I walk. I don't walk on the treadmill. I don't read when I'm on the treadmill, but if I'm walking outside on the sidewalk, at a park, on the indoor track, I'm going to be reading. So those are my, how I'm going to update my routines. But in the reset booklet, I have a work page where you can say explicitly how you're going to implement that into your day-to-day life and when. So we'll go through that in a moment. But I also want to talk about my non-negotiables and how I'm tracking it. So my new non-negotiables for each day, especially seeing which ones were the worst, I absolutely need to make sure that I am getting my water goal, doing my Gua Sha, and getting enough sleep. So those are my non-negotiables, and then I'm always going to have strength training as a non-negotiable. And I'm going to continually document everything that I'm doing. I will talk about how I've updated my Notion to make sure I'm doing these things, because I've added and changed a lot of stuff, and I'm so obsessed with Notion. I'm so obsessed. Like, I can't believe I didn't know about this when I was younger, but now that I do, I love it. So now that I've determined my non-negotiables, how I've been doing, how I want to move forward, my new mindset, and what I want to focus on. Now we can go through the quarter reset booklet and talk about how I'm going to make these as like active changes in my day-to-day, and then how I'm using Notion and my daily planning to keep me accountable. So we're gonna do that, but first it is Sunday, so it is Sunday reset day, which means I have much to do. I need to finish my laundry, clean my kitchen, cook my lunch, chop my veggies, my meal prep. A lot to do, so I'm gonna do at least half of that before. I've already done my cues review. I got a B for this last week. I've done my laundry, I've chopped my veggies, I've swept my floor, and all that's really left to do is pick out my outfits, plan my meals, and edit my video. So we're making excellent progress. I figure let's go ahead and go through the reset booklet. I filled it out last week. I'm going to screen record. I filled it out last week, like during the week, as I was having all of those reviews. I had an annual review at work with my big boss and then with my direct boss, and both of those went well. And then because I knew I was filming this video and because I just do it, I did my personal analysis of my life, and part of that was filling out this workbook. Oh no, please don't be moving back and forth. Hold on. Thanks. Okay. So there's instructions here. This is a free booklet. It'll be in the description box or in the pinned comment. Anyone can download it, and this is the exact same booklet I used in my quarter 2 reset that I will be using in my quarter 4 reset, and so on and so forth. All right, and yes, it's free. So it starts with a quarterly review. We actually already did the quarterly review earlier today, but I just went ahead and put a photo of my habit analysis for quarter 2, and I can see that April was my best month for as my grade. But my training has gotten better. By June, I've eaten more protein each month. My sleep has done its thing. I've improved on how much water I drink. I've gotten bad at how much reading I've done, and my Gua Sha has decreased, but only a little bit. So I can see that quarter 2 has been relatively consistent for me. So I don't hate these numbers, given how much of it was me just trying to find a new normal. I have just infinite grace for myself. I don't know what to say. So yeah, and then a part of the quarterly review is also asking myself some questions, and you asking yourself questions, like reflection questions. I already answered most of these in my Substack that I showed earlier, but the questions here are: what did I accomplish? Did I hit any milestones? I got my passport. WPP resumed for the spring. We're currently on summer hiatus, but it resumes in August. I got out 8 newsletters. I did get my step average back to above 10,000. I started The Walking Dead and This Is Us. And I started the weekly science diaries, and I got a publication for my dissertation. And that was because I published in April. So quarter 2's been good. We've gotten things crossed off the list. What were my challenges? What were my strengths? My challenges would definitely be my time management. It's been a recurring theme since January. And then as life has thrown things at me with grief, with traveling, with money, with myself, it's been like, oh, the time management girl, she's done her thing. Another challenge has been this 2025 administration and just continually gutting science and medicine and education and Medicaid and I don't know, everything. Yeah, which affects not only like our day-to-day lives, but also my career as a mathematician working at academia in medicine. So just so much uncertainty. Like the uncertainty was already at probably like 20%. Now with all this, it's like uncertainty of my future is at like 70%. But I am optimistic still. Also challenges, my grandmother died, my great-grandmother died in April, so each quarter there was a death. So, you know, 2025, all right? And then also that means I'm just continually coping with grief as I come to internalize the fact that life is short. Hence the new tattoo. I already did a rant in a recent video. What were my strengths? Always my organization, always my organization, always my optimism, always my passion. I'm very grateful for the communities I have. I have communities like through my family. I have the WPP community. I have community online. I have community at work. So I like that I can feel the support no matter where I am. That's very important to me, and it's been a strength keeping me together in 2025. And then also I'm feeling really connected to my family. Like I talk to them more frequently now than I feel like I have in years, because I was in grad school. I'm realizing now how much I wasn't doing and what I was doing before that I don't know, I didn't really take stock of, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I wasn't really home. I haven't really talked to my family this much. This is different. I've never made this much money. I've never looked like this. I've never. Whoa. Yeah. And then from my habit analysis, what were my areas of improvement and what I want to feel in the next 3 months. So the next 3 months would be July, August, and September. My birthday is September 5th. I'll be turning 29. I want to feel focused, locked in. I want to feel confident, fulfilled in my purpose. I'm starting so many things in the fall. I want to feel strong in my body, and I want to remain connected to everyone I love. And then my areas of improvement that we saw earlier from my habit analysis are my water intake, my sleep, my protein, my reading, my Gua Sha. That seems like a lot, but I'm tracking 10 things, so it's about half. And then my ideal day looks like, I wrote it before in my quarter 2 review, and it's still my ideal day. I have not yet reached my ideal day. When will I? Who knows, but we will aim for it till we get there. And once we've done the review, we can now update our system. So I have here a photo of my understanding of life as a system using my systems theoretic knowledge. My PhD is in systems modeling and analysis, and my bachelor's is in mathematics. So I take what I know through science, systems, math, and I applied the framework to my lifestyle and enriching my goals. So I've broken down how you can do that for yourself, and that's kind of also everything that I do. Now that we've considered what all the variables are, I can fill out my update. So my current state of my beliefs, I haven't updated this from the last time I wrote it out, but my current state would be 10K steps, 7 hours sleep, gym 5 days a week, 80 ounces of water, weekly reset, Gua Sha routine, changes I want to make. I'm already at 10K, I'm at 7, I'm at 5. I do want to get to 100, and then I have not yet created a real nighttime routine, hence the horrible sleep. So yeah, I haven't started doing a Saturday reset because I'm still resetting on Sunday. I haven't done any of the routines that I said I wanted to establish yet, which is why I haven't rewritten anything. These are all still things I want to do, but I am doing the nightly water refill, the weekly meal planning, and the spearmint tea. But the gua sha, the walking in the gym at those times is still something I'm working on. So now that I know that, I can make my new goals for July, August, and September. So my 3 priority areas are my fitness and health, my PhD, scientific career, and my social media as income. So all of my different platforms as a public speaker. So each month there's a goal for at least my PhD, my fitness journey, YouTube, and then maybe a personal one. That's kind of how I try to choose my minimum goals for each month. So my science goal for each month is basically a different stage of each of the papers I'm working on. In July, I want to finish this paper. In August, I want to have finished my outline for my F32 plan. And then for September, I want to have a draft of a paper I'm working on with a collaborator. And then for each month, my personal thing is that I want to finish reading this book series that I'm reading right now. In July, I'm going on a trip. I have like so many layovers, so I want to get a lot of reading done. And then in August, WPP is resuming, so that's where more of my time will be going. And then I'll also be starting the Scholar Circle in September, and so we're getting real serious again about reading. So that's where all my time will go with both of those. And then as far as my fitness goal, I'm currently doing 75 hard. It will end at my birthday or like right around it, which was the point. So my goal for each month is to just be consistent with this. And then each month I want to post a YouTube video every Monday, and I want to start posting Substacks, like essays, more frequently, but that's a different thing. And so now that I have those goals, we can then create systems out of these goals. So like I want to submit a paper. What does that mean I need to do? How do I turn those tasks into habits day to day? How do I turn that into a weekly routine, something I do every week? And then how does that connect with the rest of my routine? How does that day to day connect with my morning routine, my night routine? And then how can I make adjustments to this should I need to? And what will my life look like with this new habit adapted? So that's the goals to system breakdown, and I've done that for all of my goals. And then I've even gone further to break down every task that comes to mind for each priority area, and then set up those routines based on that. So like I know I want 7 hours sleep, amount of protein, amount of water. So, and I want to have tea, so I want tea to be in my nighttime and my morning routine. That kind of idea. And then I do routines week to week. I have an academic routine that I'm trying to follow. I need to actually update this because 2 of these things have changed, but I'm filming a video later this week about all of my job hunt things, so I'm just going to save the career talk for that. And then I have an ideal workout routine, which I have been following except for the Pilates. I have not yet incorporated Pilates into my routine. And then lastly, we have the quarter at a glance, where it's exactly as it sounds. I've coded in the dates that seem significant to me. And now the next step for me is to put all of this into a digital place. We have our phones and our iPads everywhere. Let me stop screen recording. We have our phones and our iPads everywhere. So what I do is I take what I've done here and I make it accessible on the go, where I can easily look at it without having to go pulling up this workbook. So that's why we're gonna get into Notion. Let's do it. I have to edit also. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll go through it. I might as well go through the full dashboard, but I particularly want to show you the pages that connect with each of these workbook sheets, just to kind of give an illustrative example of how you can create that connection for yourself. So let's do it. Where's my phone? So I can't really talk about the goals without also sharing how I'm keeping up with them. Y'all know I'm all about documentation, data, having things that are proof of what I'm talking about. So we're going to go through my productivity system, particularly Notion, because I have a confession. I haven't touched my bullet journal since April. I haven't touched it. I haven't used it. I've fully invested all of my energy, my time, my concentration, my skill, my planning in Notion for the last 3 months, and I mean, I think it's going pretty good. Honestly, truly, I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I can't lie. So everything I've been using and that I'm going to share is in Notion, or it's in other apps. And after I show my Notion, I'll tell the other apps that I'm using and how those connect to the quarter reset book. But yeah, I figured we're due for a full walkthrough because I've updated a lot, and I like to always preface this by saying this is like a multi-person combo Notion, right? So I had a Notion last year of mine. I purchased a Notion that has this really complex system of connected pages from Flourish Planner. I also follow Jenna Hong on here, and she creates a new one every year. So I download it and I just find the pages I like and duplicate them into mine. And then I also will find templates or just straight up create my own pages now. So yeah, all of that is in here, and it is everything I use to keep my life together. So I'm gonna share it with you because I'm obsessed with it. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting with my home page. Again, the skeleton of this is from Flourish Planner. Love her everything, her digital planners, her Notion planners, her everything. Super great. And so here is the home page where I have my navigation. This is filtered for just seeing what today's tasks are. I've done today's task because I moved some to tomorrow. And then we have my monthly goals planner, something that's new that we'll go through. And then my 2025 goals as I have listed them. So let's actually go to that page. It has its own everything. So going to the 2025 goals, my word of the year was challenge. Oh, the things we asked for. And then in here, there are my 2025 intentions. Oh, when was the last time I looked at this? Supplement funding. Well, diversity supplements don't exist anymore. So that's fun. Okay, that's still a goal. Yes, yes. Okay, these intentions are still resonating with me as I am looking through them. Yes. Okay, so those are my intentions. Also in here is like my life vision, all of that. And then more specifically, we have the goals. So I have changed some of these since the beginning of the year. The ones that are at the bottom that have no date, for example, I was going to try to submit a diversity supplement. Those don't exist. Trump deleted those. And then we have the KO1 grant submission. It was something I was going to do, but I started working on it. Didn't seem feasible. No longer doing it, so no longer a goal. Same with this endothelial cells paper. It seemed like it might be a good idea, but after my review, we all were like, yeah, let's focus up on these other projects. This doesn't give enough for what you have to put into it. So also eliminate it from the calendar as a goal. So those are deleted, and then I had to update the dates. So this conference that I'm going to is in a couple of days. I want my paper done by the end of this month. I say that at the beginning of every month, but I guess I'll keep saying it till it's done. I am, why does it say July? It should say December. I am back trying to read more consistently. I kind of gave up for a minute there, but after looking at my habit analysis, I was like, maybe I should start back trying to read. I don't think I'm going to follow the list that I set out here exactly, but I do have plans to read more. I may not actually get to 24, but I'm going to. This is now a goal again, right? And then something new are my communities I'm building. Just updated my goals based on all of my reflections, right? If we go into my yearly goals breakdown, I can see a more concrete view. This is where I was motivated to add the monthly goals planner, or why I was wanting to add it, because I wanted to go a little further month to month than what I can do here with just the quarters. But let's check these. This is not yet done. This was moved. Quarter 2, this is no longer a thing. Also did not happen this year. I did go to RVA in Q2, so I'll take it. Family trip. It wasn't abroad though. And I did apply for new apartments. Cool. Q3. This is about to happen. This is happening. This is happening. I already did this. Oh, I already got my passport. No longer doing this. I have created my Patreon account. And I am currently writing this syllabus. So these things are, and I'm also, I thought I was gonna do this in Q4. This is about to happen here. So yeah, my yearly goals breakdown still has some things that I am looking to do, and I am on par with it, though I will say I don't know if I care as much about my manicures right now. I am so focused on my career and my body right now. Aesthetics matter, but only to a certain extent. Cool. So now we need to go to the monthly goals. So we went from the full year, and now we're going to go month by month. I just created this, which is why it only has July through September, and I took what I did in the quarterly review booklet and I've created this monthly goals planner. So in here for each month, I've created a template where I can just, the month it's goals, have a cover photo, the vibes for that month. So this month I'm really digging flexi rod curls again. As we can see, I want to have my toes out. I want to start back writing my weekly science diary. I want to get back into time blocking. Like, these are the vibes I want to feel. And then I have explicit goals, like things I want to do. So finish and submit my paper, start the 75 hard challenge. I have started. I want to finish the book I'm reading. I want to post 4 YouTube videos. I've decided what those are. I want to post 4 things on Substack. I have not decided what those are. And then under here, these are repeatable things that I can always see. So my ideal weekly routine. So for today, I did this, I did this, I did not do that. I did do this, I did do this. WPP isn't in right now, and then this is my evening routine. So this is in here, and I can repeat it, and I've already updated the goals and vibes for the other months according to what I wrote in the quarter reset. So these are also different, right? And so going from monthly, we can then go to my weekly planner. Up until this past week, this is my most used page, and it's like my second most used page now. And it is exactly as it says, my weekly planner. I have here links to all my go-to pages. I have running task lists for my priority areas, my PhD, my YouTube channel, and my personal life. And then from that big task list, so from those goals, each of those tasks goes into a calendar. And so I have all kinds of links to that big master list concatenated everywhere by tags, by dates, by everything. So this is just all the tasks for this week. And I can see here, so one of these doesn't have a goal attached. This is related to the conference goal. And so I can also just create tasks randomly and then see I can assign them to goals. And they don't have to be, but you can. So then we have a weekly view. I added something new. I added a property for time load because I've started back time blocking, which is also something I created. I've just been realizing that I have not been giving myself enough time to do things, and I need to be more realistic with the way I set my schedule. So my first step was adding this time load to how long I think it'll take me to do something. And then my second step was creating a daily planner version of this so I can zoom in even more to set the day. We'll get to that in just a second. But then I have that weekly view, and I have a big calendar view. So at the beginning of every week, I go through and I adjust the full calendar. But based on what I think I can do this week, if I can't do something, I can move it or I can keep it, you know? And then under here, I also have my other monthly schedules. So my YouTube schedule, my Scholar Circle set schedule, my events calendar, all of that. So absolutely love the weekly planner. And because I added that time load option, I was like, fuck, I need to make a daily planner. So that's what I did. I went to YouTube University and I Googled, how do I make a time blocking calendar? And you wanna know what I found? I found a video on how to make a time blocking calendar. I followed it. step by step. And I haven't set them for this week, so I'm going to go back to last week. But I'd have to do the video myself to explain it to you. But I time block now in Notion instead of trying to do it by hand or in my notebook. I can do it in Notion, and what I love about it is I can just duplicate and then drag it to another day. And that's how I've been doing it, and then I just adjust it. And I can also very easily adjust it when I wake up on Notion. A lot easier than I could on my phone, I feel like in my Google Calendar. So from having that time load, I was like, I need to time block. And then once I was like, well, if I'm time blocking, I should be having a daily look. And so that's what I created, where I can see those same tasks for just today. I didn't create a time blocking schedule for today because I went to bed at 5 a.m. But then also on here, I have my go-to things. I can see this month's goals. I can see this month's videos. I can see my everyday checklist. I'm also tracking my 75 hard challenge. I have not finished my water goal yet. And then below that, I have the vision board from my life vision page. So love, love, love. And there's also even a 75 hard page all on its own. So these are the major updates I've made. I'm primarily obsessed with this daily planner. So very obsessed with it. I can't put it into words. So yeah, those are my most used pages. Now let's get into some of my specific niche ones. So I have a page for my PhD related focus. So that's my Postdoc Hub. I have a page for my YouTube related focus, like my videos. That's my content calendar. There's an Instagram content calendar, but I don't care about Instagram right now. That's more of a established career thing. I'll worry about Instagram. And then I have a page that's for my communities that I host. So I have the Reproductive People Club, and I'm launching the Scholar Circle, so that has its own dashboard. And then I also have a bookshelf page because like I said, very much back into reading. So let's go through those 4 niche pages. Let's start with the career page. So we have the Postdoc Hub. It's my hub for all things related to my postdoc. I am a systems medicine applied mathematician. I have several projects, so I've updated these. I don't want to delete it. I finally updated them before my annual reviews, and then the description, the to-do list, I had updated everything, and then it was like, oh, you shouldn't do this anymore. And fine with me. I'm okay with doing less. You don't have to tell me twice. But also I'm gonna just have to delete it. But similar to adding the time load, I did add a similar status one for prioritize. What the fuck? I added another property for status of my projects, so knowing which ones are most urgent. And I actually should probably make it visible to see. I think that'd be a good idea. So which ones are urgent and important, which ones are important but not urgent, which ones are not urgent. And so yeah, the top 2 are urgent. The grant project is urgent because if I am going to apply for it, I need to do it so I can stay. I need to finish the paper so that if I apply for the grant, they won't immediately reject me, similar to the other paper. It's not urgent because I have until December, whereas I have a month for the other one. That's what makes it urgent. And then networking is always important and not urgent. In September though, it will be urgent and important. This is no longer relevant. I could just delete it. I should. But then it won't be 6. I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, I have my overall goals here. I have a link to a literature tracker that another lovely YouTube video showed me how to link to my Zotero. So these are all the ones in my Zotero, and I've already put them all to each project that I'm on. Some of these are no longer relevant, but it's nice to have it in here, and it's set up so that every time I update my Zotero, it'll update to this Notion page. Can you believe it? I am obsessed. Okay, I also have here a link to my weekly planner, and I have a job applications page. So I can't believe I don't have that linked. Let's do that. Link to page, job applications. Thank you so much. Let's go to those. All right, here we have the job applications database. So I'm about to start applying for jobs. So I have my new CV, my new research statement, my new cover letter, or my old one, my to-do list for every day, and then my applications database sorted by the kind of job that it is. And then I'm going to go through all this in a separate video, but I am obsessed with Notion. So this is my Postdoc Hub. I pull this up when I'm at work. When I'm not at work, I'm at home, I'm most likely looking at my content calendar, and that's because I am always doing something when I have the chance, the little piece of time to work on all things related to documenting my life. So on here I have my mission, my elevator pitch. And then I also recently added some more scientific things to my page based on everything I want to share. I'm updating my description box. I have my master to-do list, so that same list as before, but it's just things related to Dr. Quinn. So on my socials, I go by Dr. Quinn, and then at work, I go by Quinn or Dr. Jones. So that's how I separate the tasks in my head. A Dr. Quinn task is like Substack, YouTube, WPP, and the Dr. Quinn is like reading, science, networking, So these are all Dr. Quinn tasks on the content calendar. And then I can see all kinds of views. Let's do board publishing view and my filming calendar. Amazing. Super duper. Love the content calendar. And then also going back to my weekly planner, my current go-to page outside of those two is my bookshelf. So let's go to that. This was something I initially found as a template on Notion's website, and then I customized a little bit. And so yeah, I'm currently reading the book I showed earlier, 57% I guess. And I'm reading the next two. I've read 4 books this year, okay, period. And these are some of the ones I plan on reading coming soon. And speaking of coming soon, let me pause screen recording to say this. So I've had this idea for a little bit, but I didn't know how I wanted to bring it to life. But as I said earlier, I've had a clarity of vision with so many things. I really want to continue what I'm doing with the Reproductive People Club. If you saw on the content calendar page, my mission with this channel since I started it was to find friends, academic friends, people who like what I like, do what I do, because I was feeling very lonely in my all-white department and I wanted friends. And documenting my life made me feel good, gave me purpose, and connected me to others. And then when I started my dissertation, I was like, oh, I love co-working, everyone's online, I'm going to start the Reproductive People Club. And then that has been something I've been doing consistently, and now I have cool friends from it, and we still meet regularly, though we're right now, as I'm talking, on hiatus. And then as I've done this throughout this hiatus, I've been thinking about how I wanted to bring it back, how I wanted to offer more value to my audience, and how do I make that value aligned with the whole reason I started this channel, which is community building. I want, my ultimate goal is for my subscribers to all eventually become members of that free community so that we can actually talk to each other one-on-one. But then if you want to go even deeper and have a more academic community, then introducing the Scholar Circle. So the Reproductive People Club is for any productive person, anyone who can be doing anything and do not matter. But if you are a fellow academic of any level, undergrad, grad, postdoc, faculty, you're writing homework, you're writing research articles, whatever, I want a space for us all to connect to each other in a casual but also accountable and structured way. And I also really want to read with other people. I wanted a book club and a movie club eventually, but a book club so badly. So the Scholar Circle is a combination of those things. It's a space for accountability, a private Discord, monthly Zoom meetings, and those kind of events. But also, if you pay for the second tier, you get the book club, where I've designed a syllabus for books, articles, podcasts, monthly themes, and a guided reading worksheet, so you know what to read week to week. Kind of a full syllabus. It's very go as you would like, but structured for you so we can connect on something you know, similar and structured, and I'm very excited about it, to read these books, to have these conversations, to connect with each other. Like I'm very excited about it. So this is something new that I'm doing, and so I haven't actually, this isn't the announcement. It won't be announced until August, but I did make a page for it because I have to get all my ducks in a row before I tell you anything. Obviously, I wouldn't even be saying it right now if this page wasn't made, okay? So here's my Scholar Circle dashboard. I created this also this week to just organize my thoughts. I have a similar page for the Reproductive People Club. So I have the Scholar Circle dashboard where I have the summary, the themes, what I'm offering, a weekly hosting checklist, the ongoing relevant tasks from that big master to-do list, along with each month's focus, and inside of it, each month's things to focus on. So there's a monthly theme, there's a book, there's a reading guide, there's then optional things if you don't want to read the book that could also be relevant. There's the monthly events, etc. for every month of the year. I have not totally thought out past the first year, but I feel like I want it to be realistic to whatever stage I'm in as an academic, so, or as a scholar. It doesn't have to be as an academic. So yeah, absolutely in love with this page, and very excited about starting this community. Like I needed, everything I do is as much of a need for me as I think it is for someone else. That's why I created everything I've created. Like I was already using it or already needed it, and then I was like, oh, I might as well share it. I need this accountability. I need to start back reading. I need to be on my scholar, accountable, focused woman shit, okay? So why not be the leader and do that and lead by example? So that's what we're doing. I hold my feet to the fire, I create the standards, and then I meet them. Precisely. So I also made a visual to show how the workbook connects to my Notion, just to give a clear connection on how, if you fill this workbook out for yourself, and if you have a Notion or a bullet journal or something like that, what it looks like to use this in a day-to-day practice. So starting with the Life as a System update, where we look at our current beliefs, how we want to change them, and what that looks like for our routines. In my Notion, I added that to the monthly goals planner that you saw, so that I can see in every month that I go through my ideal weekly routine, am I following that, am I meeting my goals for this month. And then we have the new quarter goals page, so I set them on there, but how will I remember that on the go? I have that monthly goals planner where inside of each I set those goals, and then I put that table on all of my daily pages, my daily planner, weekly planner, yearly planner. Every page I can see these goals to click on them and check them. And then we have the goals to system. Honestly, because I already have this framework in mind, like before I even knew about Flourish Planner, this is how I approached goal setting. But then when I found her channel and then I saw her 2025 Notion video, I was sold. I said, oh, so she gets it, she got it, I'm paying for it. And it has been an excellent, well worth the price. And so that's exactly how I do it. I have those goals in the 2025, and then about once a month I go to each goal and I just brain dump as many tasks I think are relevant, set a date for each task, they pop up on the calendar. Then we have, like I kind of just said, that brain dumping. So I brain dump them in the goals, but then I also can brain dump or assign certain tasks to individual tools. So for example, my priority area for my PhD, I brain dump those tasks for the Postdoc Hub. And then for my YouTube channel, I put all my ideas in my content calendar. I love using those little toggle lists. And then for my fitness journey, I have separate tools I use. Primarily, I commit to the goals, like, you know, in my head, and then I track them. So I track them using an app called Productive on my phone that I've used for years. And then I also track them in Notion with the habit tracker, like with 75 Hard. And then I also track them through Excel using my workout log and my daily deficit tracker where I log my nutrition. So it's more tracking when it comes to these tasks for my fitness goals, and the other ones are set with dates and times. And then we have the ideal routines. We have daily ideal routines and then the weekly ideal routines. For the daily ideal routines, I have them kind of just like set in that Notion monthly planner. They're in the yearly breakdown as well. But more day to day, how do I do them? I have them recurring. I have another favorite app that I am also a paid subscriber to. I am willing to pay for things that work. You don't have to. All of these apps have free versions that are very accessible, but I'm willing to pay. And so I use Todoist. I have a recurring morning routine or morning devotion, a recurring evening devotion, a recurring reset routine, a recurring workout schedule. And that way I just wake up and it's all there, the things that I said I was going to do. And then I go to Notion and then I have those specific tasks for my goals. So like one app I use for just kind of my automated goal setting or automated task management, and then my specific task management is in Notion. And then lastly, I have my calendar. I do use Google Calendar. I've merged my Outlook from my job and my Google Calendar personal, so I can, whichever one I'm looking at, I can see both of them. And then I don't use Notion's calendar, but I do. So I recently now created an events calendar. I will also put events in that task management. So like if there's WPP, for example, I put in there as a task, but I don't put in my work meetings as a task because I don't need to see them everywhere. I'm good. And so yeah, that's how the workbook relates to the day-to-day. Now that I've updated all those systems, I've updated my Notion, I've updated my to-do list, I've updated what I'm tracking. I've done an analysis of my behavior, and now I know what I need to do for the rest of this year, and I feel excited to do it. I've been making progress even as life is doing its thing. I have been committing my word to myself and keeping my word to myself, and that's what matters. So I'm very happy with everything I have set up and everything we're reaching for in quarter 3. Okay, friend, I'm gonna end the video here. Here it is 9:45. I really need to start practicing what I preach on having a nighttime routine. So I'm about to head to bed. Thank you for spending this day with me. I'm very excited to finally be back in a organized, excited, confident place. There's no confidence like the kind I get from keeping my word to myself. And now that I have an even lighter plate, like I've removed things from my goals, I've niched down what I want to focus on, I've planned out what I want to do for the next 3 months, and I have all the resources, time, and excitement for it. So I just want to do it. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to share it, and I hope you join me on the journey. There's free communities here. There are paid communities here. I have a Substack where I go in depth about my, life as a doctor. If you ever wanted to know some deep things about me, that's where you can find it. I also have social medias everywhere. But ultimately, what would help is if you could subscribe, like, and comment to help my videos get pushed out to more people like you, so we can grow this community. I hope I see you in my very next video. Bye, friend.